Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide for this session, mainly because we're looking at something that is essentially the architectural blueprint for any successful organization. Whether you're aiming to lead a massive multinational corporation or you're running a small family-owned business, success doesn't just happen by accident. It requires a really clear sense of purpose and direction. So today, we're going to explore the strategic roadmap that actually gets you there: your mission, vision, and values. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our agenda for the journey ahead. First, the strategic foundation. Second, mission, our current purpose. Third, vision, our future destination. Fourth, values, our guiding principles. Fifth, the Starbucks case study. And finally, number 6, benefits and pitfalls. I want to kick things off by posing a pretty critical question to you. Why do organizations fail? It's a really common misconception that failure simply comes down to a lack of money or maybe a shortage of talented employees. But the reality? Many organizations fail simply because they lack clarity about their actual purpose and where they're heading. Without a clearly defined path, you've got departments working toward conflicting goals, resources getting completely wasted, and overall efforts become totally fragmented. Chapter 1, the strategic foundation. Before an organization can even think about developing action plans, it has to answer 4 foundational questions. Imagine a small family-owned sporting goods store right here in Calgary, or, on the flip side, a massive tech giant in Silicon Valley. Both of them have to ask, where are we now? Where do we want to go? How will we get there? And how on earth will we measure success? If you try to move forward without answering these, you're essentially moving blindly. You need a solid foundation to provide direction, and that foundation is built directly on your mission, vision, and values. Chapter 2, Mission, Our Current Purpose. If we think of this strategic roadmap as a literal journey, well, the mission is the vehicle we're driving right now. At a diploma-level understanding, you need to know that a mission statement is so much more than just a catchy marketing slogan. It's a formal, comprehensive declaration. It answers fundamental questions like, what business are we actually in? Who do we serve? And what value do we create? The biggest takeaway here is that a mission statement is highly focused on the present. It acts as a unifying force, providing true north for daily operations so every single employee understands exactly how their specific role contributes to the bigger picture today. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what a powerful mission statement looks like in the wild. Take a look at Tesla's mission. It's clear, it's concise, and it's incredibly direct. It defines exactly what they do, who they are serving, and the unique value they are creating in the world right now. It provides immense purpose and aligns all of their complex organizational activities toward a single cohesive goal. So, how do you actually build one of these? Well, developing a mission requires some very actionable steps. You start with step 1. Identifying your core purpose. Step 2, figure out who your customers and stakeholders are. Step 3 is clearly defining your actual products and services. Step 4 is determining how you create value, before moving to step 5, where you draft and refine the statement. For all the aspiring managers watching this, remember this golden rule. Your mission must be customer-oriented, and it absolutely must be realistic. It has to reflect achievable objectives that actually differentiate you from your competitors. Chapter 3, Vision, Our Future Destination. Now, while the mission is all about today, the vision is entirely about tomorrow. A vision statement is a future-oriented declaration. It paints a vivid picture of what the organization ultimately hopes to become over the long haul. It's designed to be a source of profound inspiration, encouraging everyone in the organization to think way beyond their current day-to-day limitations and really strive for long-term excellence. Constructing this vision requires a pretty clear path. First, you have to imagine future success. Then, identify your long-term impact on society. Next, you need to craft a compelling image that truly inspires your stakeholders. And finally, keep it clear and memorable. A great vision statement has to be ambitious. It's the roadmap for the future that promotes continuous growth and encourages your team to come up with innovative, creative solutions to get there. Chapter 4, Values, Our Guiding Principles. Okay, let's talk about organizational values. These are essentially the moral foundation of a company, the rules of the road, if you will. They answer a really vital question. How should we behave while pursuing our mission and vision? These are enduring beliefs and ethical principles that dictate how employees interact with customers, how colleagues treat one another, and how leaders navigate difficult decisions. Basically, they are the very building blocks of your organizational culture. Developing these values takes some careful planning. You start by identifying core beliefs, you involve your stakeholders and seek their input, prioritize the most critical ones, and then define exactly how everyday behaviors demonstrate those values. But I really want you to pay special attention to step 5, integrating those values into your culture and your hiring process. Values are completely, utterly useless if they're just nicely framed statements hanging on a break room wall. They have to be living, breathing components of the organization, deeply integrated into performance evaluations, customer service, and daily decision-making. Now, what's really interesting about these concepts is how they contrast with one another. Let's break it down for some academic clarity. Your mission focuses on the present. It's the foundation of your immediate goals and why you exist. Your vision focuses on the future. It's what you want to become, the foundation of your long-term planning. And your values focus purely on behavior. They dictate how you act continuously, forming the foundation of your culture. When you put them together, they create a comprehensive framework that aligns every action an employee takes with what your stakeholders expect. Let's see how all this theory actually builds into execution through the strategic management flow. Notice how it's a completely interconnected chain. That theoretical foundation of mission, vision, and values in step 1 directly cascades down into concrete goals and objectives in step 2. Those targets inform your strategy in step 3, which leads to ground-level implementation and execution in step 4, and finally, evaluation in step 5. You literally cannot have effective boots-on-the-ground execution at step 4 if you have a shaky, undefined foundation back at step 1. Chapter 5. The Starbucks Case Study. Let's look at this in the real world. This is the Starbucks mission statement. Notice how masterfully it blends a profound, almost lofty customer focus, inspiring and nurturing the human spirit, with their actual core products and services, one cup, one neighborhood at a time. It gives a massive global corporation a highly personalized community-level purpose that employees can actually execute every single day. It's the exact same hyperlocal focus that our hypothetical Calgary sporting goods store needs, just applied on a massive worldwide scale. And how exactly do they behave while delivering that mission? Well, look at their core values: warmth and belonging, courage, respect, excellence, and accountability. Starbucks actively leverages these specific values to drive everything they do. These aren't just empty words. They dictate how a barista greets you at 6 a.m., how the company pursues product innovation, and how they implement global sustainability initiatives. It is literally their strategic foundation applied to real life. Chapter 6. Benefits and Pitfalls. So, the crucial point boils down to the contrast of outcomes. On one hand, the benefits of doing this right are absolutely massive. You get a sustainable competitive advantage, a much stronger brand reputation, and genuinely high employee engagement. But the common traps are devastating. If your statements are vague, if your employees aren't involved in creating them, or if there's a complete lack of implementation, you are going to face massive resistance to change and terrible communication. When the foundation cracks, the entire organization suffers. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. How will your strategic roadmap build a lasting legacy? Because in a world of rapid technological innovation and constant economic uncertainty, your mission, vision, and values are not just corporate buzzwords to stick in a handbook. They are the vital anchors that allow you to navigate change, establish a truly unique identity, and ultimately achieve meaningful, long-lasting success. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope you found this deep dive into strategic planning as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed our time today and want to keep learning, please make sure to like this explainer and subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more great content coming your way. See you next time.